So we're talking about the ShellyLeeAlley.com site. Obviously, it's a great website with all kinds of information about Shelly and has some old photos and sheet music if anybody wants to play some of his songs or record them. And then some really good video from some of the Shelly Lee Alley tributes. We did 10. We started, first one I think was 1994, and then it just caught traction. A lot of people came to that show, and some other key pieces were, I know Kevin Coffey was another big component. What's Kevin done for you guys, and what's he done for Shelly? I know
We
he's
met Kevin Coffey years ago, and I think he was had done some interviews with Cliff Bruner, and he was really getting into the history of Western swing and Texas music. He's a music historian and a writer, excellent. And Clyde and I met him at a little coffee shop, and it was amazing to me and Clyde because Clyde shared a lot of information with him. But we noticed that Kevin didn't have any kind of recorder. He wasn't writing anything down. And yet we found out uh, he remembered everything was said. And I would say today he's the number one authority on Texas swing music, Western swing music. He's the number one authority. He knows more about it. In fact, he learned things about my dad that I never knew. He's just phenomenal. He lives in Scotland now. He's lived in Scotland for quite a few years. He also plays clarinet, sings, and just a great guy. But I mean, I so respect his uh, knowledge of our kind of music and to get it right. You know, things get out. People publish things and say things, and they end up not being correct. But if Kevin says it, you can take it to the bank. It's absolutely correct. And I would say he is the number one authority on Texas music, Texas swing, Western swing of anybody. And not just that, he jazz. He studies that stuff, and he's the authority. I would say, He helped us in the beginnings of the Shelly shows we did also.
I believe a lot of the write up in the Shelly website is from the Journal of Country Music, an article pretty much
Correct.
that he put
Best
together.
best one ever done. Another interesting thing about Kevin, Kevin never knew my dad. He's much younger than Clyde and I, and yet you can tell from the stories he's been told, he gets him. He understands him like you do because you've heard stories so many times. Though y'all have never met him, I think you figured him out, and Kevin did also.
How about bring up another name for you, Barbara Martin, and what she did too?
Barbara Martin, another one. She's from the West Coast, moved to Texas. She loved Western swing music, got into it, and became a real fan of Western swing music. Had her own publications, Western Swing Monthly. She's one of the best things that happened to Western swing. Uh, I'd say back in the '90s and through there of anybody. Same thing with her. She wanted to know about the history of it. She appreciated the musicians, and wherever a dance was going on or a show, if she could be there, she was there. So she was a phenomenal supporter. Sadly, she passed away 2 or 3 years ago. But yeah, she was a huge supporter of Western swing and Texas music in general.
Also, with we talk about Barbara Martin, and with she had that newsletter that she had, I guess, every month that came out, and was always talking about different concerts and
Yep.
just pretty much promoting, as well as promoting Western swing, and also, like you said, covering some of the history of Western swing. And getting back to history, I want to talk about your dad and his relationship with your mom, and how did they meet? What can you tell us about your mom and that relationship?
Well, they met through uh, my brother Clyde playing with him. Uh, she was married to Clyde's daddy at the time, and what all happened back then, little kid, I never knew and didn't need to know. But sometime during that period, early to mid 1940s, they met and ended up. My mama, Clyde's mama, married my daddy, and but I would say the three most important people my daddy ever met in order was first one was Clyde, and that not reinvented, rejuvenated his musical career. And through Clyde, he met my mother, and then through my mom, he met Jesus Christ. So in that order, that's what Mama knew how to handle Daddy. She understood him. She respected him. He's so dependent on her, and they just had a really great relationship. She understood that music was so important to him, and she never called him to, hey, me or the music. She never did that.
She playing instruments or
Yes, she
write
did.
any songs?
Yeah, I'm glad you asked. Yeah, she played, and when she was younger, she played piano a little bit. She could play a little guitar, a little mandolin. In fact, I remember one time we went up the country to visit, and we went to her mom's church, and my daddy and her had written a Christian song, and Mama played piano on it, and I sang, and she showed me a few chords when I was young. Same thing with Clyde. She showed him a few chords on piano and mandolin. But later years, she never played. I believe that's where Clyde got his talent from, because Clyde said his daddy wasn't musical at all. So he would have gotten it from his talent from his mama, and he got a bunch of it from her.
Yeah, we know that Shelly was married a few times, and the first wife was, I think, a medic, someone, Phyllis, that he met in San Antonio, married to about 10 years. He had a music shop and was in music pretty much all his life, like you said. And one of the wives, Margie, was another one who was somewhat into music and a performer back in the day. So it only made sense that Velma would be someone who obviously liked music too. Was she? Do you know what kind of music she listened to growing up, or what was her influences at all?
Growing up, as Clyde has told me, radio was going then, and pretty much whatever was being played on the radio, that's what you listened to. And all these towns would have dances, and whatever group got together to play, that's who you'd go listen to. And so whoever's popular on the radio, that's who you listen to, and whatever bands came through town and played these dances, that's what you'd listen to. But she liked music. She always enjoyed it, and me and Clyde to get together and play, and she enjoyed listening to it.